guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness here on Fabulous Friday. Fabulous Friday here in Connecticut. It is beautiful out. It is absolutely beautiful out. I just got in from a bike ride, did 35 miles, like nothing. It's beautiful. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Believe it or not, it has been a year since my man Joe Avella gave the seed money to start the Jerome Callet Memorial Scholarship Fund. And we got a great student as the recipient, and I just want to give you an update on how he's doing. Very, very rewarding meeting this young man, and yeah, that's it. Anyway, I literally just walked in from a bike ride, sweating like you can't believe, and well, let's see what we got. I did practice this morning. We'll honk a few notes, and then we will get to the scholarship fund recipient. Anyway, yeah, very, very rewarding thing that Joe has started, and I'm just going to keep it going forever. He put the seed money in. It was actually his idea. I think it started to give people mouthpieces. I think that's how it started. And Joe took it a step farther, and he said, why don't you give a mouthpiece and some lessons? I said, great idea. Great idea. So I put the word out over the internet, if you remember, and I don't remember exactly how many people applied, but I had them, give a little description of themselves, what the trumpet means to them, how, the Jerome Callet system and mouthpieces and everything could help them, and all that sort of stuff. If it wasn't just young people, it could have been anybody. If I felt they were sincere about the trumpet and they could use some lessons. But handful of kids, quite a few kids, were of middle school and high school age. So I had them get a okay from the band director, if that was all right. Because a lot of times, we get deep into it and all of a sudden the band director doesn't like the mouthpiece, and I'm not taking Joe's money and fooling around like that. It's just a waste of all the time. So, band director had to, in this case, the band director had to sign off on it, and he was all for it. And this young man's 16 years old. He's going into his junior year of high school. And quite frankly, guys, the world is his oyster. I mean, he's an exemplary young man. I'm not going to use his name. I was thinking maybe when he is 18 and going off to college and whatever, maybe I would use his name and have him play on this. But until then, I don't want to subject him to this this nonsense. But anyway, fine young man, straight A student. He tells me they're doing classes online, so he's got all this list of assignments. And he's got the first semester of assignments all done. I mean, no, he's just a very, very bright guy. Very conscientious with his practice and everything. I give him something one week, and it's learned by the next week, and we just keep going. There has never been one step forward, two steps back. Never. It's always one step forward, one step forward, one step forward. And the fact he's a sweetheart helps too. I thoroughly enjoy teaching him. And That's that. Now, for his actual trumpet stuff, now check this out. He started with me, actually he had a lesson or two before this. I believe he was in middle school. And he bought a 1SS. He got the 1SS before the 1SB even came out, I believe. And he really liked the 1SS. And he was actually playing some legitimate G's above high C. Yeah, he really sounded good. He might have been straining a little bit, but it sounded good. Now, hadn't heard from him for a while, but then he was all for the whole scholarship thing. And he wrote a beautiful, letter of what he sort of does and everything. Anyway, you get all that. But now he's got the 1SB. But the thing about it is, I'm going to say, a couple months before he started the lessons, he got braces. Got braces. So all of a sudden, the high G is nowhere to be found. Okay? And he was scuffling a little bit. Okay? But we started right from scratch, even with the braces. Relax the corners, tongue, pull back on the air, all that sort of stuff. And now, he felt the only way that he could play without cutting himself up was to literally put a piece of wax on his front teeth. Okay? So you can imagine braces plus a piece of wax. Try that sometime. Just take a piece of tin foil, put it just for the heck of it, and try. I mean, this is bizarre stuff. Okay? So he did that, and he just took right off. He just took right off. Everything was locked in. The only thing about it is he didn't have consistently above a high C for most of the year, because once he would get above a certain point, the compression would move the wax. So he'd play up to a high C and he'd stop and rearrange the wax. And this is probably going on during concerts and all this sort of stuff. But again, as great as he was doing, he wasn't above a high C. Okay? Now, his notes were popping. Eventually, about 3-4 months ago, he was using not a very good trumpet. I'm not sure where he got it. But his parents sprung for a Bach Strad. Okay? I immediately did a video on the 1SB mouthpiece and the Bach mouthpiece, the Bach trumpet, because he sounded beautiful on it. Absolutely beautiful. On a B-flat trumpet, he sounded like Bataillon. There's no question about it. Okay? Now, that's the 1SB with the Bach trumpet. A Bach mouthpiece with a Jerry trumpet, you have no chance. Anyway, that's for another video. But I'm going to say, yes, a month ago. A month ago, he got the braces off. Okay? The first 2 weeks, it was just, I'm not going to say floundering is the right word, but he couldn't get the feel. He wasn't rendered helpless. I will get you that. He was absolutely not rendered helpless. He was clamming notes he wouldn't normally clam, and the range came down to about a B flat initially. But everything else, the notes were popping. He was very surprised that it didn't feel worse than it did. And he said the spit buzzing helped him a lot. He literally, coming back from the orthodontist, he started spit buzzing. And he said the spit buzzing felt perfect. Okay? So I knew if the spit buzzing worked, it was just a matter of time. Now the last 2 weeks, it really started to kick in. All of a sudden, and I'm going to say with the grace period of the first two, it took 2 weeks to go from a high C to E flats and E's with the same tone. And I tell you what, man, he sounds awesome. He was first in his region last year, and please, he's the best trumpet player in the state. And I tell you what, by the end of this year, I fully expect him to have G's at the least, if not double C's. I don't like to put time frames on that, you know that. And I'll tell you what, when he's a senior in high school, the world is going to be his oyster. Now, I told you, he's extremely bright, and he could absolutely do anything he wants. And he's bandying about actually going into one of the military bands when he gets out of high school. He has relatives that are in the military, and I hooked him up with a couple of the guys that study with me. They're in the military bands, and I'll tell you what, man. With those chops, he can do anything battalion can do, and he'll be able to play Wayne Bergeron solos. He's got that talent, and he will have those chops. And guys, anybody, 10 years old, 16 years old, 90 years old, and everybody in between can have those chops. Now, the gray matter, I have no control over that. That you talk to the big cheese about. That's what Mel Burrows used to call God, the big cheese. The big cheese, Ace. Anyway, so that's an update. And I'm very, very happy. I'm just so thrilled that this young man got the scholarship, because he's perfect. He's perfect for what I want, what we want, what Joe wants. He keeps in touch with Joe and Yumiko and all that sort of stuff. And it's great. So anyway, that's that. And Jerry, we're keeping your legacy alive. Another generation to come. All right. Eat and drink your fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Love you all.